I call this my Sicilian pasta. It might not be quite Sicilian. If you are offended by this, I can't help it. This is what I like to eat, and it is delicious. Now, the best way to open linguine is to bash it on the bench like that. That tears it out the top and makes it nice and delicious. See, out in one piece. Now, my pot is already salted with lots of water in there, and I drop it in nice and slowly like that so it all comes apart. The trick with pasta is to make sure there's plenty of salt in there. It's got to taste as salty as pork fillet bay, and then you've got to stir it for at least the first 30 seconds or minute. Nothing sticking there, we're right to move on. Now, I've got a pan here that's already nice and hot, and I'm going to throw in some of my favourite things. I've got some chorizo sausage. I love this, nice and smoky. A little bit of fat that'll help to work with that linguine, and it will make it nice and delicious. This goes straight into the pan like that. A little bit of sizzle going already. This is guanciale. I always have this in my fridge. It's made from the cheek of the pig. If you want, you can use bacon. It has a similar sort of flavour, but the guanciale, in my opinion, is the best. One of my favourite things to make your pasta delicious. And you'll find this in a lot of Italian delicatessens. Worthwhile giving it a go. Once you've tried it once, you'll always go back. My favourite thing in the entire world. Now, this is going straight into the pan, and I'm using the heat of the pan to help render down some of the fat so it picks up all the flavour. And I'll take a minute or so just to come over here, check that nothing's sticking to the bottom. It's boiling away beautifully, and the pasta isn't sticking to each other. Really important. Now, I'll add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to the pan here and get this really bubbling along. I use plenty of extra virgin olive oil because that's what brings out the flavour. The guanciale, the sausage, the oil comes together beautifully. Red onion, I like to slice this by taking the core out at the end, and that way when I slice it, it all comes apart very easily. Pop it down there like that, and good to go. Slide that to the front. Eggplant, another fantastic vegetable. A lot of people don't use eggplant, and it's really simple. You just take it like that, peel it if you want to. I don't. I stand it up so it's nice and firm, nothing slips over, and then cut it into pieces like this, and then like that, across there like that, and then I'll do a large dice. Pop that there like that. I'll do the same to this one, and then get everything ready. As you can see, I'm just chopping everything and getting it into place. So when I'm ready to add it, in it goes. And back over here with my spoon and give that pasta a stir. It's coming up beautifully, and I reckon about 8 minutes or so and it should be ready. Stir this around, and you can see the guanciale is almost disappearing. The fat is rendering out of it, and it's disappearing into that oil. Now, eggplant straight in there, and I want the eggplant to go into a fairly hot pan so it fries and becomes nice and golden. And while I'm here, I might as well chuck in the onion. And as I chuck it in, I sort of break it apart so all the little bits of onion go all the way through it. Now, I'll stir that around to bring it all together and give it a little bit of a toss. If you're not confident with tossing, just grab your wooden spoon and stir it around. Now, I love chilli. You know I love it nice and hot. I'm just going to take the top off it like that. Take it through the middle here like that, slice it all down the centre. I'm going to keep the seeds in, so I'm just going to cut it down through the middle and then cut little squares like this, seeds and all. This is going to be red hot, and I'm going to eat all of this and sweat. You know how much I sweat when I eat chilli. In it goes. A nice bit of colour as well. Grab the last little bits and stir it around. Give that a toss. And you can see the sausage is starting to fry up. A little bit of colour on that eggplant. This is cooking along beautifully. Now, anchovy, I love anchovy. You get the flavour going through it without that really strong fishy flavour. There's 3 little fillets in there. I just pop them in the middle, and I know when they cook in the oil, they'll actually fall apart. That's what I'm looking for. Chilli, a bit more. You know I love the punishment. Dried chilli, about a tablespoon of that goes in there. And as everything's going along nicely, I'm going to add the garlic. You can see that onion softening and the eggplant starting to soften as well and go a little bit golden. So I'll add the chopped garlic. I like the garlic to be really strong in flavour. So I'm adding it right at the end. So I almost get a raw garlic flavour all the way through. But just as it starts to caramelise, I'll pop the pasta in it and it'll be ready to go. Capers, in they go as well. Lovely capers, lovely salty flavour. It's looking good, isn't it? Now, I've got some fresh tomato here, or tomatoes, and I love these tomatoes. They've got a great flavour, and they're really firm. So I'll just chop them up into little pieces like this, so when they soften up in the pan, they'll go all the way through it. These tomatoes will soften up, but still hold a little bit of shape as well. Now this is simmering away nicely. Pasta's got a couple of minutes to go. I reckon by the time this is just about ready to come together, I'll have those herbs chopped over there. I could almost eat it straight out of the pan like that now. Have a look at that. You can see it's becoming nice and saucy. I put a little bit of hot water in there from the pot and it's coming together beautifully. My pasta, yeah, that's ready to go. I just drag the pasta straight out of the pot and straight into the pan like that, trying not to make too much mess. The water that's coming out of the pot here and going into the pan helps to make it really saucy. It's got that starchy flavour and it tastes like the pasta, which is what I'm looking for. And then I can add a little bit more and help it all come together. Sometimes I take the pasta out when it's not quite cooked and let it cook the rest of the way in the pan so it soaks up all those juices. So it's all about the flavours you introduce to that pasta that make it delicious. Parsley and basil on the top, and of course we need some salt. On the top it goes, and then with a pair of tongs, I fold the pasta on top of the herbs like this so it starts to soften those herbs. As they soften and the heat gets into the herbs, you can really smell the aroma of those fresh herbs. It looks fantastic. And the pasta is still cooking. It's soaking up all those juices. Now, if you've got a bit of a knack with fry pans, feel free to give it a toss around like this. But once you've done this a few times, you'll get the hang of it. A good fry pan is essential. Now, we're ready to put this whole thing together, so I'll just grab the pan like this and some pasta. I pull the pasta straight out, give it a little bit of a twist into the bowl here like this. So we've got it all piling up nicely. And then all you need to do is grab all these lovely ingredients that have given it flavour and pop it over the top so it looks nice and colourful and you can see what you're going to get. Plenty of flavour, plenty of ingredients and plenty of pasta to make it really delicious and fill you up. Parmesan cheese over the top here like this. Up high, down low, in the middle. There we go. It looks fantastic and believe me, it smells amazing also. I'll grab a couple of pieces of pasta here and turn it round in the juices at the bottom so it picks up even more flavour. Pick it up like that. Oh, that's good. I love pasta, and a simple pasta dish like this where you use all of these ingredients or even just some of them, you know it's going to taste good. And I do know it tastes good. That tastes fantastic. I'm glad Preeya's not here to share this with me. I've got it all to myself.